Okay, so we're recording. Um, so I have some questions, but why don't you just start? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm not going to use it as a whole interview.
No, I figured.
I'm just going to make snippets.
Okay.
I will ask you for approval on anything I do before I use it. But
You don't have to.
um, so why don't you start by just telling me who you are?
I'm Dana Hecht. I live in New York where vehicles are very expensive, and I definitely needed some insight on how to get a deal that was fair. Um, so,
All right. So what what were you deciding on? What kind of vehicle did you buy?
yep, I
What made you
bought,
decide to get that?
so I bought a 2024 Buick Envision. I started out by looking for one that was gently used, a couple years, 2, 3 years old. I couldn't find what I wanted. I haven't bought anything brand new. I don't even remember the
All
last
right.
time I bought.
And don't use terms like that I use in marketing. That like wanted to look for one that was gently used. You were thinking of getting a used car.
Okay, well, but I was looking for not very used. It was,
Right. Something not so old.
well, and yeah, like that was a demo, a lease turn in,
Look at a camera.
a
Yeah.
demo or a lease turn in, something that didn't have a lot of miles, something that wasn't very old, but I couldn't find that.
All right.
So
What made you decide to want to look for something that was not very old versus brand new?
because as soon as you drive off the lot, it depreciates, and it's how I've bought when I haven't leased. The last few cars I've had are just a few years old with low mileage, and I've been very happy with that. I didn't feel the need to get anything new or spend the money on something new.
All right. So how did you start your shopping process?
Online, just kind of seeing what was out there. I started with vehicles that I thought I might be interested in. I had certain features that I knew I definitely wanted, like a moonroof, heated seats. Um, and, I looked within proximity. I started out with being okay going to New Jersey from Long Island. Um, and I was considering that, but then I ended up changing my mind on that. So narrowing my search made it more difficult to find a vehicle that was used with low miles and all the features that I wanted, and for a price that was worth spending on a used vehicle. So then I just started looking at new. By that point, I had pretty much narrowed it down to a Buick Envision.
Did you do all this shopping on your own, looking up things and knowing, did you know exactly how and where to look for things, or did you get help?
I started by looking on my own for to have direction, and then I reached out to Lloyd Hecht, who I'm speaking to right now, who I know has been in the business for probably over 40 years. So kind of gave Lloyd what I was looking for and reached out while I was still looking for something used. And Lloyd actually helped with a couple of used car dealers. One we spoke to on the phone, that they were in New Jersey. And I think it was after speaking to them and thinking about having to go all the way to the shore from Long Island that I decided that I'm giving up on used and I'm going to go new this time. Um,
What what parts and what did I help you with?
um, just helped me to understand. So I just want to preface by I was never the car buyer or the leaser that felt that I had to walk out like I beat somebody down. I work to make money, and so do people that sell cars. They work to make money, but I don't want to be taken advantage of. I work in an industry where I have to negotiate for contracts and change orders, and I never believe that, again, somebody shouldn't make money, but I believe that I want to be treated fairly.
At
So
work,
that's what I was looking for Lloyd to help provide guidance on what would be a fair price for the car, what would be a fair price for my turn-in, where I can feel good about the vehicle and the deal I got, and the person that was selling the car earned money for the time that they put in.
so at work, in your professional job, are you very comfortable with those negotiations? No matter who's on the other side of the table, do you feel like you're on an even playing field and you can go back and forth and work it out for both sides?
I feel comfortable when I have people with me that might have the subject matter expertise that I might not necessarily have.
No, I'm talking
But
about at work.
at work, that's what I'm talking about. But what I feel comfortable is that typically the people I'm working with know that I'm coming to the table to be fair. So if it's people that I have worked with for many years, since they know I approach things that way, I know they're coming to the table to approach things that way and to bring this to conclusion and do what's best.
All right.
Okay.
Did, how did you feel about, did you have that same exact
One
feeling?
second, I want to turn the camera off and back on because
All
now it
right.
looks like I've been drinking, or the other person that's looking at me. Okay.
Right. Did you have that same exact feeling when you were getting ready to walk into the dealership or communicating with the dealership?
Yes, but yeah, I felt very equipped because I knew that the subject matter expertise, Lloyd,
Mhm.
had equipped me with the information that I needed
Okay.
to go in there. So, again, did I feel that the person there knew that I was coming in to be fair? No. Did I express that many times?
You what were you equipped with that you might not have been if we hadn't spoken before you went in?
So everyone thinks that the sticker price is so inflated. I learned that it wasn't so inflated. I was equipped with the understanding and knowledge of where there was room to negotiate and how to negotiate. I was equipped with the knowledge of what would be fair for my trade-in. And I guess really what I was equipped with was the confidence to not be taken advantage of. So even if I wasn't 100% comfortable, but I was confident that I would not be taken advantage of.
All right, let's talk about your trade-in. So what value did you come up with from doing your homework that you felt was a fair trade-in value for your car? And
Okay.
what did what did you use to determine that?
I figured around $10,000. Would it be fair? Maybe a little bit more. Um, Basically, just using one of the internet tools and putting, knowing the condition of the car, understanding, having gone through trade-ins before, that you never really get what you think, just like selling a house. You think your house and your car are more than when you go to sell them. Um, But I think having gone through that experience and then having had the opportunity to be able to speak to you, I felt like that I was in the ballpark.
All right, so when you went into the dealership, what was one of the first things they wanted to talk about?
Um, the trade-in,
And did they give you a price for it?
very low price.
What price
Probably
did they
about,
give you?
hmm?
What price did they give you?
Like, it was about half. I can't remember exactly, but it was about half of 10,000, the 10,000. It was somewhere around the 5,000. It wasn't even close. It
How
was
did that
not,
make you
it was a
feel?
like I was going to be taken advantage of, or they wanted to take advantage of
So
me.
what did you do when they told you that they were going to give you around $5,000 when you thought it should be around 10?
I told them that, like what I stated before, I'm not here for you not to make money. I understand that there's not a lot of room on the sticker price because I've done my homework. But I've also done my homework on the trade-in. And I know you checked, they had a calculator on their site, so you had checked within their site, and their site had it listed or traded even more.
Do you remember what that
So
number was that their site said they would give you?
I think it was even close to 15,000. It
Was
was
it that high?
definitely, it was definitely much higher. It was even higher than what I had originally seen. So I knew that was not. Um, and
Did you accept the 5,000?
no, nope, 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 nope.
How, what did they end up giving you on the trade-in?
They ended up giving me close to the 10,000
And how did
because
you,
I was going to walk out.
did you tell them you were going to walk out?
Yes,
And
yes.
all of a
I
sudden the price changed?
not all of a sudden, but in time the price changed.
All right.
Also, they had something on their website, a coupon, which they were telling me wasn't applicable. Got the coupon applied. Um, actually, I did walk out. They called me back. They called me back, and and they even delivered the vehicle.
So you
And I
finally came to terms with the money, everything.
came to terms, and then as it turned out, because it was a day, I went on a Sunday, and the next day there was a new dealer incentive. I mean, Buick incentive, manufacturer incentive. So I actually ended up getting even more money off. I got my trade-in value and I got the coupon and I got the car delivered.
And you ended up getting it for close. The whole deal ended up being around what you originally walked in to offer them?
Less
Less.
because of the manufacturer incentive.
So
But
if they would have done what you asked them on Sunday, they probably would have made more money.
yes.
Isn't that fun?
And what
Isn't that
did I
fun?
did
How
I
did,
have fun?
yeah, was it a fun process?
No. But in the end,
Yeah.
I was transparent, I was educated, and I was equipped with information to go in and be fair. And right, they could have closed the deal a lot quicker and had made a little bit more money. Um, and yeah, I
And,
lost my
and
train of
and
thought for a second, but
and how
it
about in
I
the end?
felt
How'd you feel in the end?
I felt good that I got the car I wanted for the fair price that I just wanted to get from the beginning. I love my car.
That's
I
good.
still
That's
love
the
my
whole
car.
idea. It's the whole idea of it. Unfortunately, it does, we try and take the stress and anxiety out of all of this. It doesn't sound like we were able to remove the stress and anxiety, but we did make it so that you felt good afterwards.
So part of the stress and anxiety is my own because it was a young woman, right? And I wanted her to have the deal. So I'd say that this definitely took the stress and anxiety out from having the information and from being educated and from knowing that I was in the right.
Do you think this is a true statement that professional women like yourself are confident in the boardroom, but going into the dealership, it almost feels like the first day on the job?
Yes, but I'm okay also walking out, and I've walked out in the past too. I think, yeah, I'm okay in the boardroom, but I never like negotiate. just it's not my thing. I like it when we end up in a place that works for everybody. It's not always the case.
Right.
But
That's
I,
negotiating is you want to work, when everybody
well,
feels like it was a good deal.
as I say, having been in the public sector for 33 years, when you're negotiating with public funds. So that's really where, when I talk about fairness, you're negotiating with private companies who are entitled to make money. That's what they're doing. But we also have to be stewards of the public dollar. So finding that sweet spot. Because if you also can't come to a solution, you're prolonging the project, which also extends the cost to the taxpayer. So that's the kind of mentality, though, that I bring into the car buying process of that person on the other end. I know that they have a roof over their head and they have to put food on the table. And so I just want, again, to know that I wasn't taken advantage of. That person earned money for the time that they're putting in, and I have a good vehicle that I'm happy with. And that ended up to be the conclusion with some interesting steps along the way. But within that, like I said, I was very educated, very well prepared. And so when I walked out, I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel like I was screwing anybody. And when we were able to work it all out the next day on the phone again, I didn't feel bad. I knew that I was getting a good deal and that person was still making money.
Are there any of the tools provided by bestcardeals.com, any of the online tools used?
Yeah.
What in particular?
The financing calculator,
And
I
how did
used
that
that
help?
a
How did
few
that help
times.
you?
It helped a lot because I actually took a much shorter loan than anticipated because I was able to get, again, the manufacturer, financing through GM for a very, very low interest rate. But in figuring out my monthly payment and figuring out the principal and the trade-in, just playing with different factors, I was able to figure out where I wanted to be on everything.
So it helped you with your decision-making process.
Yes.
Okay, once you've kind of settled on the deal, did you continue to use the calculator for anything, or were you done with it at that point?
While I was on the phone with them doing the deal, I actually used the calculator too for the contract.
And
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 I think
what
I
did you use
used
it
it to
for?
verify what was in the contract.
Okay, and did it verify what you were expecting?
It verified the numbers matched. So I was able to use it as a check for their math to make sure there was no errors.
So that made you more confident, being able to check and make sure everything on the
Mhm.
paper was exactly what you were expecting, made it better at the time to sign the paperwork.
Expecting, and also mistakes happen. I think actually we did catch one mistake with the calculator.
And
So
was the mistake
I think it was a mistake.
in your favor?
Oh, no,
It was,
no.
so it was a mistake in their favor, and you questioned it, and they corrected
Yeah,
it.
yes. And actually, the young woman the next day told me that she wants to do the financing. She apologized for the mistake. She said that she wants to learn that, and she was the one doing it. We actually had a really good conversation in the car when she brought it to me. But we did discuss that. So yes, that calculator came in handy even at that point in time, not just as a tool for determining where I wanted to be, but a tool to ensure that everything was being done correctly at the time that it was being done.
All right, one last thing, and I appreciate your time for this. Can you just give me a quick summary of everything?
Yeah, I think that the website, uh, your knowledge, your help, the education, I would not have ended up with this vehicle. I don't even know, honestly, if I would have, I might have just stayed with my car for a little while more, the one that I traded in. So it's like having a brother in the business.
For full
But
transparency, Dana is my sister.
but I do have to say that even if he's not your brother, it would be like having a brother in the business. Because it's just what's on the website alone is very beneficial and very informative. And again, your insight and your knowledge and your willingness to help. I think I'm still so happy with my car once I get my windshield fixed. I know you'll edit that out.
Yeah. You still didn't get it fixed?
No, I'm calling Safe Light tomorrow to make sure that it's June 12th still. That will be my
Oh,
birthday
the day
present.
after birthday present?
It's so I don't hardly drive it, so it's kept the mileage low because there's two. So one's all the way to the bottom, the other one's meandering towards my windshield. So if we go anywhere that's far, John takes his car so that I doesn't meander in front of me.
Wow. All right. Anything else you want to say, or are we good?
Um, I'm just trying to think of something for um
I'm really focusing on vehicle valuation now as my
on
marketing. I've
you
been
mean
in,
for the trade-in?
yeah, on like I'm using that as a hook to get people
Oh.
to feel confident. I don't know if you've seen
Oh,
it
okay.
as a hook to say, hey, don't get screwed on the vehicle valuation. And then I'm going into if you're comfortable with what we taught you there, then
Okay.
imagine what we could do with the whole process.
Okay. So let me think of something to say about that.
Yeah, I'm taking a little. I was advised by Dean Graziosi to take a different approach. I don't know. Did you watch that one-on-one I had with him?
Oh, I forgot. Oh, can you resend it to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Gary watched it because I remember he texted, but I was in the middle of something. So, all right. Yeah. Um, no, honestly, that was where I had the biggest room to negotiate was on my trade-in. So not having that information at hand, or I should say, having that information at hand made all the difference in the world. And I know that from the past, from when I didn't have that information. And you feel blind when you're trying to negotiate your trade-in, because I think it's been for many, many years that there hasn't been a lot of room on the sticker since the internet and all the information that's out there. And then when you go online and you see Kelly Blue Book, and there's all these different places that knowing that I had a secure number that I could go in and be confident about, definitely that was the negotiation. And that's where the back and forth was.
On,
So
that was on the trade-in.
on the trade-in,
So
on
that's
the
what you feel the biggest place to be able to negotiate is on the trade-in.
100%, it was on the trade-in in this case.
And that's what we're starting to put out there, say, they'll advertise great prices on the vehicle, but then they make it up on the what they don't give you for your trade-in. So and then this is not, I'm not going to use this,
Right,
but
no, I know.
teaching that, you know, know how, know what your trade value is so that they don't
But
rip you off.
and I didn't even realize that there was literally almost no wiggle room on the sticker price.
Well, there is some wiggle room because they get other incentives that come in behind that. We talked about that, if they sell so many cars in a month, they get
Right,
money, but those are not guarantees for them either. But so,
right.
but there's not a lot of, what I think what you're trying to say is there's not a lot of markup in the sticker
Yes, that's what
compared
I mean.
to other things you're used to in the world. Like, you go to buy a diamond that's $10,000, the jeweler probably paid 4 or 5,000 for it. you know, it's
Mhm.
100% markup. Uh, a $45,000 car may have $2,000 worth of
Right.
profit in it.
Yeah.
People
Right. And
think it's 10,000.
I believe that this car didn't even have 2000 markup.
Yeah. And then so all right, well this is good. I got more than enough.
Okay.
We just did a lot and I'm pulling these real short snippets.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop the recording.